What is up, YouTube? Matt McKeever here with Kory MacKinnon, and today we're going to be checking out his 14-plex in London, Ontario.
I've been managing rental properties and owning properties for about 15 years now, and my good friend of mine, a realtor of mine, was struggling with this property. He'd put it under management with other people, and that wasn't going very well, so he was actually thinking about selling the building. And I said, well, instead of like killing the goose that lays the golden eggs every month, why don't we try to do some work together here? Let me help you stabilize the building, and I'll do that for you if you'll, give me first right of refusal to buy in as a partner. So everything needs a system, right? We got garbage, and it's all assigned. Some people put their own locks on the call this the garbage doghouse. So that's its own apartment there. This one here literally takes you up into a 3-bedroom unit. We rent it to students right now. That's getting $600 a bedroom. And then this one here takes you up into a bunch of different apartments. But yeah, they're basically tar and gravel. But when it's $200 a month, $2,400 a year at a 5.5 cap rate, which we're right downtown, which is a reasonable cap rate, I mean, we just raised the value of the building by $43,000.
What is up, YouTube? We're catching up with Kory MacKinnon today, who's going to show us a really unique business model, I guess. He's going to explain to us how he's managing his way into ownership of a 14-plex. This is fantastic for anyone that wants to get into large multifamily deals, but maybe you don't have a ton of money. Maybe you don't have a ton of experience, but maybe you've got a lot of time and energy and you're willing to learn. Maybe you're willing to manage someone else's portfolio in order to earn just a small piece of that pie. Well, there's tons of advice and tons of just inspiration in today's video, so let's dive into it. What is up, YouTube? Matt McKeever here with Kory MacKinnon, and today we're going to be checking out his 14-plex in London, Ontario. I'm really excited. It's a massive building, fantastic location. Let's dive into it.
Oh yeah, one thing we had to do here was parking. Parking was always a pain point at this building, so we actually worked with the city. We heard of another landlord in the area that was doing it's kind of like a permit, but you literally get parking passes from the city, and if someone doesn't have that parking pass in their car, the city can ticket them. So we're like, awesome, what do we got to do? They're like, you just need to get signage done and pay for the signs, pay for the little tags that you hang in your car, and then we'll literally monitor the property, or you call us and we'll ticket the car. So we're like, cool. So now we can actually create own the ecosystem here. I'm like, don't call us about a parking problem. You call the city and they'll come and ticket that person. And lots of LED lights around the building, because you gotta watch all the dollars and cents, right? So if you have lights in common areas, you should probably be going for LED. And if you don't have coin laundry, then it turns into a free-for-all. So this property could probably use a second set of coin washer dryers, but right now it works, and that's all we're worried about. So I'll take you guys around to some of the different parts of it here. So everything needs a system, right? We got garbage, and it's all assigned. Some people put their own locks on the call this the garbage doghouse. Okay, so it's not cheap to build because it's all plywood construction and everything, but if you don't have it, then it's just like it's a free-for-all. We do discount somebody's rent by $15 a week. Just get the garbage to the curb. That would be awesome. We're actually thinking about getting one of those big round pods that are like recessed into the ground to do garbage and stuff, but we got to get that figured out. So this is working for now. Recycling is also working too. So we'll take you up maybe one of the hallways here. So that's its own apartment there. This one here literally takes you up into a 3-bedroom unit. We rent it to students right now. That's getting $600 a bedroom. And then this one here takes you up into a bunch of different apartments. Okay, here's those house rules we're talking about. So if anybody wants copies of these, just send me an email. We'll let you guys know what we do. Make sure that you have fire code. Fire code's really important. You gotta have your exit lights, you gotta have your fire extinguishers always charged up and inspected every year, and all your smokes have to be working and interconnected too. So there's gotta be, once you get over a 4-plex, your compliance for fire code just increases much more, right? So that's it there, guys, for this one. We'll take you back to a cool rooftop patio. Have you guys ever seen a flat roof before?
A couple times. But
yeah, you gotta make sure these guys are always not blocked. Yeah. I think, what was it? I was watching a YouTube video one time, and they're like, you got to get covers from them because there's the king king cans. A king can actually get down this hole
Oh,
and plug it up or something like that. And like now we got the covers on it.
yeah.
But yeah, they're basically tar and gravel. I'm not sure the different ways to do flat roofs. I know you got the white membrane, you got the tar and gravel approach. Maybe you guys can comment and let us know which one's the cheaper, more reasonable way that lasts longer. But you also get the drainage that goes right into the drainage system for the house. So this is probably a stack that's going right through somebody's apartment. Yeah guys, but it doesn't look pretty. You know, we're slowly doing things here. Like we did half that roof there, not the other half of the roof. We replaced all the windows. Still need some paint. We got to do that back staircase there. But we're way over the hump for the work that needs to be done. Yeah, so that's the place.
What is up YouTube? Matt McKeever here with Kory MacKinnon. We're in London, Ontario, actually downtown London, Ontario. We're checking out a really unique building, and it's got a really unique backstory on how you kind of got involved with this building as well, right Kory?
It does, yeah.
So do you mind breaking that down for us?
Sure. So I've been managing rental properties and owning properties for about 15 years now, and my good friend of mine, a realtor of mine, was struggling with this property. He'd put it under management with other people, and that wasn't going very well. So he was actually thinking about selling the building. And I said, well, instead of like killing the goose that lays the golden eggs every month, why don't we try to do some work together here? Let me help you stabilize the building, and I'll do that for you if you'll, give me first right of refusal to buy in as a partner, right? But let me do my job first. Let me get the rents up, get the stabilize the tenant base, and then we'll continue that conversation, which we're at that point now. So.
Yeah, and I just love the creativity behind it, right? A lot of real estate investors struggle with the idea of, if I don't have a ton of money or a ton of experience, how can I break into the game? And particularly, like, this is a 14-plex that we're standing in right now. Right. So it's one of those things. I think a lot of people watch my YouTube channel, it's an aspirational goal, but it's very difficult for them to envision it as a realistic goal.
That's right.
And so you were saying before we kind of turned on the cameras that there's a great opportunity that you can offer to property manage for people, learn their business model, get them to kind of know you, like you, trust you, and then at that time you can often kind of step in and either become part of their long-term plan for their disposal, or maybe buy in and partner with them.
Exactly right, because at the end of the day, we all have either money, we have time, or we have effort and energy, right? So at this point, I had maybe a little more time or the resources to help manage this, right? And for people out there, they're like, I can't find deals, I don't have money. Everybody can make time. You can't make excuses around time. I have 4 kids at home and multiple businesses, and I'm also national level athlete as well. So you all can make the time for the things you want to do. Simply, we lots of times we just don't make the time. So you can make the time to go and apprentice under a big property management company and learn the skill of property management, so now you can actually go and put that into someone else's business that needs it. There's opportunities everywhere, you just got to be looking for them.
Yeah, I love that. I've always thought if I was to start over again, and let's say I had none of my connections, none of my experience, none of my knowledge, starting at a property management company would be great, because you're going to learn the business inside and out, but you're also going to be dealing with owners quite often. And so owners eventually someday may become sellers, and it can be a great deal pipeline opportunity. In fact, a lot of my wholesalers now that live with me in the mansion, we're constantly hitting up local property management firms just to try and build that relationship, build that rapport, and potentially if and when one of their owners decides to sell, hopefully they think of us.
That's right. I'd rather have I'd rather have 7 units in a 14-unit building, and once we do all the share sale and figure out the corporate structure, if he ever does want to sell his other half, it'll be a lot easier. It'll just be a very small amount of work as opposed to getting it done the first time. So I'd rather have half of something big than all of something smaller.
So what does stabilizing a building like this look like? What did you kind of come in and start changing or doing to get it up to a better, more effective use?
Sure. So when we started managing the property, there was very few rules around garbage, parking, noise, smoking, all that sort of stuff. So we just came in. We always observe for the first month, and we're just okay, I'll give everybody the benefit of the doubt first, and we're just going to observe. And we do know who the key people are in the building that we need to watch, and who are our eyes on the ground as well. So we're just give us intel. Give us intel, and then we'll always be asking the person hey, did that happen? What's going on, right? So we're looking at who's, where the information's coming from. You got to kind of be a detective sometimes without having to put up security cameras and all that sort of stuff. So we always get the information first, and then we start to just implement our rules. And we're always like firm and fair, but it's like, look, we can't be making side deals for everybody, or like you can do this, but you don't have to do it kind of thing. There has to be law and order. And I like what Adam Kitchener said is like, there's only a few rules, right? Pay rent on time, don't do any damage to the property, and be good to your neighbors. Like, don't make noise and all that kind of stuff, right? So if you keep it simple like that, then it's the fewer the rules. I find it, especially as my family grows, you gotta have fewer rules, right? If you ever talk to people that have triplets or quintuplets, it's like we have very few rules in the house. The food's got to get down your mouth, and like we got to have fun. So the same thing with the property here. So some of the units were under rented. Some of the units did have some characters that were borderline, not following like the right side of the law. So we eventually got them out by N5ing enough times, and they'll just be like, this landlord's not giving up. So you gotta have a presence at the property. Like lots of times people struggle with their properties because there's no leadership of the property. They never see the landlord, and they never see like anything ever getting cleaned up if there ever was an issue or like a problem that needs to be fixed, right? So we want to make sure we're responsive and we have a presence, and that there's no messing around. Like these are the rules, and if you're not following the rules, then it's not going to be a pleasant situation for people to keep staying here. So
and those like small changes, like making sure garbage is managed and noise is managed, slowly over time your profile of tenant's going to drastically improve, rents are going to increase, it's just going to become a more desirable property overall.
Yeah, and at the end of the day, like our tenants, we want to look for working class that just want to come home from working all day, either their 1 or 2 or 3 jobs, and they just want to enjoy their unit without lots of noise and stuff like that, right? So that's what we're doing.
Awesome, love it. And so right now we're standing in a unit that just recently came up vacant, a little bit under rent. You're currently in the process of turnover, and so you're now going to be able to increase the rents?
That's right. I think we got an example here. So this unit was probably, and this was a rent rate that was set like 7 years ago. So we were at probably $200 undervalued, and London's had great appreciation in rents in the last 3 years. So you got to be prepared for that. And when people are doing these, sometimes people don't think like, well, 50 bucks, 25 bucks, it doesn't matter. I'm not, and again, I'm not going to fight tooth and nail for every single dollar, because as you have more units, you got to pick and choose your battles. For me, if I'm fighting for top dollar, which I used to do when I only had like 5 or 10 doors on every single re-rental, I'm like, you know what, I'll give somebody a deal by 25 or 50 bucks sometimes, just for speed and velocity and get it done, and have that choice of the litter of who we want to work with. But when it's $200 a month, $2,400 a year at a 5.5 cap rate, which we're right downtown, which is a reasonable cap rate, I mean, we just raised the value of the building by $43,000, right? So even something smaller, right? If we're fighting for $75 a month, because now we're switching from electric heat, which a lot of these units have, to like gas heat. Now we can say, look, like your total cost of ownership or renting is going to be lower, so the rent's going to go up a little bit. That also changes the value of the building by like over $16,000. So there's opportunities anywhere, and the bigger the building, you have more touch points for those opportunities.
Yeah, and so this building, is it currently electric heat?
Yes.
Yeah, and so are you guys looking at turning it over, or what's that look like?
We do want to, and probably the easiest way that we could do that is there's not even a gas meter in the house right now. There's never been a need for one. It's like electric heat and also electric water heaters too, which are like massive kettles, which are just like, an electric kettle is expensive. So what we could do is get in some big fast cycling hot water gas tanks, and off those gas tanks you can usually run some extra hot water rads. I think off each one you can do 3. So that if we get 3 hot water tanks in here, we could probably like get gas heat to 3 units that are all close to the mechanical room, and that'll be a start. And then over time, we'll get a boiler system in here and we'll run the lines, and it's probably gonna be like 50 to 80 grand. But that's a long-term investment. When you're making moves like this, all you have to do is do this play twice. Now you got money to do your boiler system for the whole place, right? So that's the cool thing about owning rental property, is once you have some equity in it and you're doing things that will raise the value of the property, you have the margin to do these improvements.
Yeah, love it. So if people at home are watching this and they're thinking, this sounds amazing, Kory found this opportunity to do property management, kind of lock in the price at the, 2 years ago versus, and kind of gain the benefit of appreciation over time, how would you recommend someone start that conversation? Like, how do you approach that subject with someone if you're interested in either earning your way into their property or eventually getting the option to buy in?
Yeah, great question. So in life, everybody, you got to follow the motivation. Okay, so it's very difficult to have that conversation with somebody when things are easy peasy and they're like, I'm managing my properties from my cell phone, everything's perfect. Probably not the great opportunity, but when you have someone that's struggling with it, it's just not their right personality type. That we have manager type personalities, we have really entrepreneurial, like high level, like like they see the opportunities and the vision, but they don't like to do all the day-to-day implementation. Then you also have like the really like granular nitty-gritty, like the people that are like, I like to work the tools and just like I'm the implementer, I'm the tradesperson, right? So when you have the right personality type that struggles with leadership and management, that's where the opportunity comes in. Like they're struggling and they'll give up half their value because you're going to raise the value anyways. The buy-in's not going to be as much because now, I mean, I've made him 200 grand anyways, right? So you're just showing the value proposition time and time again, but you do need to look for the motivation. And if you think these numbers are too big, then just take a zero off it, okay? Like go find like a rundown $140,000 duplex in a super value-based city. I mean, the opportunities are there. You might look on the internet and find some of their ads and it's like, whoa, they're actually bad pictures and bad decor and paint jobs and all that sort of stuff. These people need my help for property management.
Yeah, love it. That's a great tip. Just kind of go through Kijiji or Facebook Marketplace, look for properties that appear to be under rented, maybe mismanaged, and why not just reach out to that owner and see if there's a win-win opportunity. My
favorite is when you got the old European, I hate the stereotype, but they literally just have for rent on a sign in the front lawn. That's not how business is done. Business hasn't been done like that for 15 or 20 years. So.
Yeah.
But opportunities are everywhere, people. You just literally got to turn your brain onto them, okay? You got to be like, instead of like on Instagram every 5 minutes, which you should be if you're following these guys, but you know, be out there being mindful and saying like, I want to go see these opportunities, right? Maybe one day we can actually shoot a video where we're just driving around. I'm like, look at that, look at that, look at that. Like my brain is turned on for opportunities. Your brain is turned on for opportunities. You guys need to turn your brains on for opportunities like this.
Yeah, problems are profits, guys. If you want to see us do that video with Kory, jump in the comment section and let us know, and we'll go driving for dollars and see if we can find some interesting properties here in London, Ontario.
We won't see, we will find them.
Awesome. Thanks again to Kory for giving us a tour of the property and breaking down the numbers behind this. Thanks for taking us up to your rooftop. That was lots of fun. Let us know in the comment section, what do you think about this strategy? Was this something you would take on in order to earn your way into, say, a large multifamily property? I think it's a great, very clever strategy. If you guys want to see more Kory MacKinnon, check him out on this playlist right here. If you guys just want more general real estate advice and just general education, check out this playlist down here. And until next time, remember, making money is a team sport. There's more than enough money in this world for us to all make it, but if you're not saving it, I mean, like, what's the point? Oh, and smash that like button.